You wake up and it's January 1st, 2020, retaining all knowledge since then. How do you change the outcome of the year? I dump all my money into Tesla stocks and quit my job. Edit, yes, thank you everyone. I realize there are other stocks that performed well. I move my car so it doesn't get towed like it did on January 1st. As an individual, there's not a damn thing I can do to change the general outcome. The only thing I can do is use the knowledge for my own personal advantage. Tesla stock would be the most obvious one, but I'd also use the extra time to ward off health complications. I'd quit smoking that day instead of in mid-September, and I would immediately start eating better and watching my salt intake. I had a minor stroke in early November, so changing my habits 10 months early might prevent that from happening. Move to New Zealand. Stand in the middle of town with a piece of cardboard with "the end is nigh" written on it in a sharpish, shouting at people about how the rapture is coming. That oughta do it. I bet it all on the Jets to beat the Rams. That way, I get to suffer through the entire year and have a big hurrah at the end. I've seen this question so many times that maybe I am continuously waking up on the 1st of January, 2020. I'm investing in Tesla, Zoom and Instacart, then grabbing my entire family and hopping the next flight to New Zealand. Well, considering no one would believe me, make the same stock trades as Congress. Invest in Zoom, buy toilet paper. See, this is why I'm memorizing the winning numbers for a lottery draw. May as well get ahead, right? Go and stay over at my GFS house a day before lockdown and get stuck there for the foreseeable future. Fuck that. I just finished my thesis. I'm not pouring hundreds of hours again into that. Start applying at other jobs immediately and quit my current one before May. That's when those assholes told me they were taking my $1.25 extra away and docking me for the overpayment for the past 5 months. I wouldn't have eaten that bat. I'll make 100% accurate prophecies and get rich AF. I tell my dad not to back off of his chemo. He died in September. Get to know him better, call him my brother-in-law just once, hug him tighter, ask if he's okay, tell them to elope. Don't tell her I'm in love with her, even though I am. Order the exercise bike much earlier. Don't join Twitter, or at least refuse the group chat invitation, again. Realize sooner real friendship includes balanced effort and little to no manipulation. SPY puts in February. TSLA calls in March. Considering what I learned about someone a few moments ago, I'd warn them to not fuck around in their lab during the end of November/beginning of December. Friend died December 1st from a lab accident. Monitor fell on their foot, then medical complications and they died. Actually sad. Just learned about it now. Find doc, get in the DeLorean and go further back in the because it's too late to stop COVID-19 by then. Also, load up on psychedelic penny stocks which are starting to blow up. Buy more Tesla stocks and toilet paper. I would get my mom a plane ticket to come visit in February so that I could get married instead of having to put off a wedding 2+ times indefinitely because both my mom and Mill can't bear the idea of us eloping. It's been a really scary year, constantly being worried about what would happen if either of us lost a job/health insurance or fell gravely ill without the legal protections of being married. I run the fuck away from everyone and build a secluded shack in the woods away from society. Go and travel to see an old friend before he dies of brain cancer in April. Don't bother booking that birthday trip to Venice in March or vacation in August. Buy a Kindle sooner than I did. Order the kids' laptops before the prices shot up. The pandemic emergency kit I put together in March came in useful but was overkill, so scale that down a bit. Oblig. Buy Amazon, Zoom and Tesla shares. Invest in TSLA and move to NZ. I recently lost a friend, and if I could have stopped that, the year would be a hell of a lot better. If I could go back, I would talk to my dad every single day. He just passed away unexpectedly a couple weeks ago and I miss him. Quit my essential job and get a non-essential one instead so I can make more money off the 600/WK unemployment benefits while not having to expose myself to the general public every damn day. Then invest mad cash as soon as the stock market tanks. People keep asking this, and it's pointless. The only thing you can maybe do with this knowledge is to stop a personal tragedy or possibly get rich. But you're not going to affect anything on a large scale. COVID is already going to happen, and nothing you do will stop it. Almost everything that happened with the election, down to Trump trying to flip the result and the mail-in ballots, was something people were saying was going to happen before 2020. I'm going full Georgia Republican. Liquidate my stocks before the market tanks, buy back in at the bottom. Fuck all the plebeies. I got mine. I can't change it, that's the problem. The government won't listen, they won't ban anything. Best bet is to tell my parents to invest all their money in Tesla and Bitcoin. Boom. Nothing I can say or do would stop COVID-19, so probably just try to save my relationship from falling apart, I guess. I actually work hard in school so that I don't flunk up my junior year the following school year. Make such a massive unimaginable scene at my wife's grandmother's retirement home, they kick her out and she's forced to live with family, none of which have been sick with COVID, instead her slowly dying alone in a hospital. Talk to colleague who killed himself. About getting help for his mental health. Probably take out some loans and invest appropriately for 6 months. Pull it all out and move to New Zealand for a stretch given how well they have done with COVID. Moving to New Zealand. Just shoot myself, hell no, I living this dumpster fire of a year again. Dumb every dime I own and get the biggest loan I can to buy Bitcoin during that 3 or 4 minute period where it was 3,800 this year. Cash out when it hit 24K earlier this week. I'd probably just try to get my studies further in a faster rate. Shit went down during the 18th of March when the library I worked in as an intern got closed down. If I could convince everybody to get a few things over the way a little faster before COVID starts to spread uncontrollably, I might actually have a chance of graduating by the spring of 2021. Other than that, I don't think I could do anything else differently. I'm just one person, and I'm no scientist. No one would listen to me, except maybe I could convince my friends to be a little safer and warn about a few outbreaks that are going to be endangering my friends directly. I would prevent my mother from breaking her leg that ultimately led to her decline and death. I'd tell my mom not to go for that contrast dye CT scan. She went into anaphylactic shock and passed away 24 hours later. On a macro level I can do jack shit. Stock up on toilet paper, canned goods, and better chair in my home office. Not spend money on a ring for my ex. Like you/ecosystem said, I liquidate, borrow, and dump everything into Tesla. Next, I write out everything that will happen that year. I write it on paper and post it on my socials and write it up in a Reddit post. I let the posts get downvoted and lost in obscurity until the chain of events began. People will take notice of it. Investors will use it as a guiding tool. The news will want to interview me. I will only send them cryptic replies back and deny in-person interviews. I will then write a book about my experience being sent back in time. And then make public appearances to promote it, give answers and make $. Tell Kobe not to get on that plane. Take my grandmother to the hospital, before her heart stopped, sad face. I would not be able to, so instead I would buy a ton of PPE, mostly to sell, but set aside enough for my family and close friends. S. Invest in stocks that have benefited from the pandemic. I lost everything this year. Rather than go through it all again, I think I would just kill myself.